Welcome to the Fellow Mind Solution video about the Product Data Connector PDC. My name is Martijn van den Heuvel. I am a business consultant.
My name is Ruud Schiepens, pre-sales consultant.
Ruud, the PDC, that's what we're going to talk about today. We see that in addition to Dynamics 365, there are a lot of other tools being used that contain all kinds of information. Product features, drawings from CAD systems, and you'd like to use those in Dynamics 365 as well. And we have a nice solution for that, don't we?
Yes, right. We also sometimes say that the skill lies in those kinds of external systems, PLM systems, PDM systems, CAD as you call it.
The entire alphabet.
Yes, I'm only at the B. Those kinds of systems are used for that piece of craftsmanship, developing new products, but all the information from those systems, you often need it in your operational processes, in your purchasing, production, sales processes. Yes, and you see that. So how do you get that information into an ERP system? That's often the question.
I can imagine that if you put a lot of information into the system that it would be convenient to have a drawing to go with it.
Yes, well, a drawing is a good example indeed. Most of the times there's a design, and when you're going to purchase things from suppliers, it's very useful to immediately send the drawing to the suppliers so that they also know exactly, have all the detailed information, have the designs or a part of the design. Yes, that information is very important.
And who is using this?
Yes, we see it mostly in companies that are into engineering something, so engineering totally new products. The ETO companies or with the assembly companies, say, that put products together, or with companies that release a lot of new products but don't have a whole engineering, but maybe through a PLM system they bring a lot of new products to market. Yes, they have a lot of changes in their product compositions and in their bill of materials, so their parts lists, or have other operations within their production floor. Well, those kinds of companies often take advantage of this solution and often use it, yes.
Yes, and then who doesn't, just to ask the question.
If you like retyping, then PDC is not for you. Haha.
No, you definitely shouldn't do that. So that's the alternative.
Yes.
Either you're going to, let's say, import the data.
Yes.
Or it becomes manual work with all the consequences of those errors. And
takes a lot of time.
A lot of time, and also not the work you actually want to do.
No, and apart from that, Dynamics table structure is quite complex. You can also use standard data entities. You could import something through that. But often we see in practice that you run into many problems there, and the complexity of those tables often makes it difficult. We have created a kind of layer over it to make the import very easy and smooth, with all kinds of validations and the logging of information that goes with it.
Yes, but suppose you don't. I have my CAD system, just to take it as an example, I keep that separate, and I have my dynamic system separate. Then what are you actually going to miss?
Yes, you need that information. So to do your purchasing, to drive your production, you just need information in your ERP system for those operational processes, as I said, so you can't escape it. So then you come back anyway. Yes, you'll also have to transfer it manually, which just often takes you a lot of time and which is just very error prone because it's so much information, and you can also capture it manually, but then you have to be in so many different places within Dynamics 365 that it's often not an option. We see.
No, we'd better not to do that, so maybe we should show how it can be automated then, huh?
Well, let me show you. So here is a quick demonstration of our Product Data Connector solution. The first thing I want to show you is the dynamic fields, and what I mean by that is that here we can indicate the mapping of the data from a message that we receive and where that data should eventually end up in Dynamics 365. In the first table, you see a long list of all the tables that we can populate from the Product Data Connector. Well, then we can specify which field that's going to be in that particular table. Then we can indicate which XML node, so which name, which field from the XML we can use for that. And finally, yes, how the field should be processed. Should it be processed immediately upon creation or after creation? So should updates be done on existing records or not? Well, once the message is processed, then it's included in this overview. The processing can be either manual or automatic via batch tasks. Well, there we also have the option to have that processed synchronous, so the message is processed immediately as well as asynchronous, so the message is stored somewhere, and, for example, every night all product changes are processed. Well, then in the action header message at the top, We see a number of options. We can view the XML that has been imported. We can manually import the message from a network drive, for example, or from Azure Storage. We can also import a message. And then the messages, as I just said, end up in this list page. There are a few fields that I just want to briefly highlight. There's a status view, so what is the status of the message? Is it finished? Is it still in progress? Or is it already completed? Or did an error occur? And we can see that right away. Then it goes through all kinds of validations. Pre-process, well, that's, for example, a possibility that from an external PLM system, for example, you don't have to deal with all item structures or unknown item structures. Well, in combination with our advanced configuration management solution, we have the ability to recognize a product based on certain attributes. So without getting the part number from the XML, we can recognize the product based on certain attributes. Super convenient. Well, then the validation continues. So then items are created, a bill of material is created, routes, cost price calculation, a quotation or an order is created. So the process goes through all of these steps, and you can see that in the different steps as well. Then ultimately, you also have a piece of logging. So if there's an error or something didn't go right in one go, you can also see right here on the right-hand side with the icon that information was logged or that something did or didn't go right in one go. And you can view those error messages. Well, then you can reprocess the message after you correct the error. For example, if a resource was included on a processing step that didn't exist in the system yet, after creating the step, you can reprocess the message again and it would be processed correctly. This gives you a nice overview of all the steps involved in creating information from an external system, which ends up here in the overview screen. And then your item is created, your route is created, etc., etc. And so you can start using the product in all your operational processes.
Well, Ruud, nice demo. I think it's clear what PDC can do for you and how it works. Quite a lot of information altogether. But you made a recap again, didn't you?
Yes, right. Just briefly, some takeaways from our product data connector solution. Well, this solution is a very valuable connector for companies in the manufacturing industry. So for automotive companies, that could be an application, or for construction supply, especially companies that do engineering to order or configure to order, but also MTO companies, so make to order or make to stock, which often develop complex products or have a very extensive bill of material, for example. The solution is basically used in practice for work planners. They often take care of parts lists and they take care of the right mapping. Also in this case of the product data connector, they often get information from engineers and fabricators, and they then often capture that information in the ERP system, and so they will also use the mapping and the solution. So the product data connector actually connects your PDM, PLM configurator systems to Dynamics 365, so you maintain your product data in the external system. That's your single point of truth. And actually all new and changed product data is then exported from that system and imported into Dynamics 365. PDC is a more than proven solution. It is already used by an awful lot of customers and is actually a standard part of the 365 implementation we provide for many manufacturing companies. All the more so because it shortens your time to market tremendously. In addition to importing data from these external systems, PDC also has extensive functionality such as validations and logging. Finally, the PDC is also a tool that has good performance. It works incredibly fast. We can read 10,000 items with all kinds of parts lists and routes within 1 minute, so that gives huge performance benefits as well.
Well, nice product. So if you want to automate your information from external systems into Dynamics 365, then you use the PDC, the Product Data Connector, and with that you then shorten your time to market, and then you have nothing else than just profit relative to your whole production process. Well, that seems like a good thing. How can we get in touch?
Email, phone, all the familiar techniques.
Same ways as always. We'll put the link back in and you can click on it, and then you can contact us through the website if you think, hey, that PDC, that's something for me. Very good, Ruud. Bye-bye. And until next time.